Hello and welcome to my video on how to create an account on the Open Weather Map website. So first things first, we need to go to openweathermap.org. When we're in there, you should see a screen that looks like mine. Sometimes you'll see some options across the top here. In my case, I've got these three white lines in the top right hand corner. So when I click on them, these are the options like I was talking about that would be across the very top there. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a quick look at API in the next section of this video, but for now we're going to click where it says sign in across the bottom. Once we do that, it's asking me to sign in with my email and password, but obviously we don't have that yet. So we're going to go to where it says create an account. Now in here, we just put in our details, create a password, click these two boxes just to say you're 16 years and you agree with their privacy policy. You can click these if you want, but it's just to receive communications. Click the I'm not a robot, verify it, and create our account. Once that's done, we just need to choose our purpose, so it's education science. We can click save, and then you see here we have sent a confirmation link to your email address. So it's as simple as that. We've created the account. Now we just need to go into our email and verify our email address. So very simple again, just click in verify email, and that's it. We're now a part, or we now have an account. So this API keys, this is what we're going to have a look at in the next part of the video. Since we have our account now, we can go back to our home page by clicking the Open Weather symbol up here in the top left hand corner. Once it loads up, we go back into our option list here in the top right hand corner, scroll down to where it says sample, so that's now our profile. Again, you'll have your name or other username. Click on it, and this gives us our weather dashboard. Okay, so you see across the top we've got some new options. All I want you to do is click where it says API keys. This API key is a unique API key that's just from my profile. So this is the code or the API key that we're going to use when we bring it into Tony. So we're going to right click there, copy it, and we're going to take that now and bring it into Tony. Once we have our API key, we can then go to Python. In this case, I'm using Tony. The first thing that we have to do is to install the package. So the package is called PYOWM. So in this case, I'm just going to go to Tools, Manage Packages. We're going to type in PYOWM, search it, and you'll see here the top search result is PYOWM. Now I obviously have it installed already at the moment, but you'll just click install here, let the libraries install, and then close. In this example, I'm going to use the code that you'll have in your workshop. So in this case, it's just importing the libraries. My API key is the key that I just copied in the previous section. Paste it in there, make sure you put it in quotation marks like this, and then once I click run, it should pop up with some temperature data, and currently it's very cold in Portmagee. So this bit links our API key to the Python, so it allows it to talk to OWM, and this is calling the API for the weather data at your location. Now with this weather data here, we can actually put that into a variable and ask the user to enter. So for example, we could type in location equals input, please enter your location, and then just change this to location, and that would also work. An alternative to this is to use the JavaScript object notation, which is used to standardize text-based data, and it's used to transmit data in web apps. We can get that data from our API doc. So we go back into our three lines in the top right hand corner. This time we're going to go to API. this opens up the current and forecast weather data collection, and we want to look at current weather data. So I'm going to click where it says API doc. Once I'm in there, this gives me my URL. So I can copy and paste that in. Now, if you notice, it has, in this case, it has latitude and longitude. So we're going to actually change that to be in a city. So we can type in what city we want. And then we add our API key here at the end. Now, the JSON, or the JavaScript object notation, is all down here in the JSON section. So you'll see here, we'll be calling main, and we're going to be able to take temperature and humidity from this. We'll be able to take the wind and so on. So when I go into Thonny, I need to first of all go to manage packages and enter the OWM, or Open Weather Map, and you'll see here the first search result is Open Weather Map. We install that library and click close. Then we need to take in the requests, so import requests. This is just an input, and you'll see here this was the original URL that I copied from the previous section. So for example here it has latitude and longitude, and we're going to replace that with Q equals an empty curly brackets. Okay, once that's done, we just add in our API key here. So that's our unique API key. We don't use the curly brackets, so you can notice here we don't use those curly brackets, and we add in the and units equals metric and dot format city at the end of our URL. Then we can use these two commands to use the requests library to get the URL, and then our data is based on our URL and the .json, which is taken from this section of the Open Weather Map. Once that's done, then we can start to take in the data from the JSON section. So for example, I'm just calling a variable humidity, taking the data from the main section, and I'm using humidity. Here I'm using pressure. Here I'm taking it from wind and using speed. And if I go back to here on the website, you can see main refers to this main section, and humidity is from this section. Once we do that, we can then print the pressure, humidity, and so on. So once I click run, it asks me to enter a city. I'm going to enter in Dublin, but I have to enter in comma IE because there's a Dublin in America as well. And it gives me the current temperature, the wind, pressure, humidity, and a description, so broken clouds. So this is an alternative way to this section, or to this program, so it's up to you which one you prefer.